How's it going, everyone? So today I want to do something for you all that I think might, help you understand why it's so important that you do make moves financially to get ahead. You'll understand why I'm passionate about teaching this course, why I say the things I do, and why I've been teaching so many students over the years to begin to reshape their financial planning because it just, you'll see. Let me show you the math, right? So this is what I call the wealth reality check. And what we're going to assume here is we're going to assume that if you do what everyone tells you to do, get a 9-to-5 job, save a little bit of money in your retirement account, and then 30 years later of retirement, retire. Let's evaluate what that might look like, okay? Because again, you'll see this on billboards, what's the one, Prudential or whatever it is, talks about planning for retirement. You get the 401k matches all the time. There's all these things around us that tells us to live this lifestyle, but they're not actually walking you through the numbers. So let's do that and see what happens when you follow their rules, okay? Now, a few things. The first thing here, if you make $21,000 per year or lower, you're considered lower income, okay? Now, this is household income. So if there's two of you, it's combined income, all right? If you make $74,000 a year as a combined household income, you're in the middle income bracket, okay? So I'm going to take these two scenarios and I'm going to assume that we save 10% of our money. So if you make $2,000 a paycheck, you would save $200 of that paycheck, right, into the bank and then invest it. And I'm going to assume a few other things. I'm going to assume that you're 30 years old and that you want to retire by 60. So 30 years of savings and investing. And I'm going to assume that consistently you'll make an average return at 10%. Okay. Now, obviously we know it goes up and down, but history says it's around 10%. Okay. So we'll assume that. And not to get too complex, and I won't factor in the impact of inflation. Keep in mind, while it's 10% of a return, inflation's around 3%. So you have to consider that things go up over time. And so $1 million today is not $1 million in 30 years. Okay, so keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this math. Okay, so in the first example, if you're low income, right, I'm assuming that you have taxes that you pay out of your paycheck around 15%, right? So your take home annually is $18,000. Now, if we assume that you save 10%, right, you're going to save $1,800 a year. Okay. And then you'll invest that for 30 years at a 10%, return, and you will have $325,000 to your name in 30 years. Not a bad amount of money, okay? Now I want to show you something though. So let's say, you're 60 years old and you're going to live to be 80, right? So that's 20 years. So if we take 20 years, or we take this number divided by 20, we get $16,250. Now I'm going to show you this, okay? So let's put it up here. $16,250. All right, now check this out. This is just one reason this whole concept is flawed. You need to make $18,000 a year to survive. Now, keep in mind, as you get older, well, maybe you don't spend on things like, going on fancy trips or fancy dinners or partying or any of that. Your medical care is going to go up in cost. So you're going to have to spend more than $18,000 a year in 30 years when you retire. But here's the kicker. From this amount of money, you can't afford to retire. You're only making $16,000 a year. So not only are you making less than the $18,000, if your cost of living goes up, you're not going to have 20 years of retirement. And that's why this is flawed, okay, is that your quality of life today will, if you want to live the same quality of life when you retire and pay for the additional medical expenses and everything else, you're going to have to either save a lot more or make a lot more money in your returns, okay? Or you can do what I've been telling you all to do and consider reshaping your financial picture, all right? Reshaping how you make money, where your money comes from, getting money from different income streams. That is why I've been teaching this. Okay, now let's go to the other scenario, right? Middle income, not bad. $74,000 a year is a household income. Now, your tax rate's going to be a little higher. So I assume that it's 20% now versus 15 up here. So your take home is $59,000 per year. Okay. Again, same logic. You save 10% each paycheck. Annually, you'll save about $6,000, which is a pretty good amount. Okay. 30 years of investing at 10%. Check this out. You're officially a millionaire. But again, you know how this works. Well, take this, divide it by 20 years of living. What do you get? You get 53,000. Put it right here. 53,350. Once again, you will have about 10% lower amount of money when you retire per year than what you had for 30 years of your life. Now, I don't know about you, but all of a sudden you're going to have to retire, a millionaire, have to reduce your annual spend by 10%. You'll have to reduce your spend by 10%. And again, your medical costs are going to keep going up. Things are going to keep going up in price. And this doesn't even factor in inflation. That's what I'm saying. If we factor in inflation, I mean, it's not even possible. This cycle, this idea, this thought of putting your money in retirement and you'll be fine just working a 9 to 5, it doesn't work. The math just doesn't work. And that's my point. This entire course, again, I'm doing this course so that you're reshaping your mind to understand that the traditional model does not work. And the only way to get around that is to consider how you can create additional income, create multiple streams of income, and begin to better yourself financially to make sure that you're not in this situation. And what the crazy thing is that the majority of Americans don't even have this part set up, right? So not only do we have to recondition ourselves in the mindset, we also then have to accept that this is not the right way. And that's why the famous people like Robert Kiyosaki, Tom Wheelwright, Tony Robbins, they're all telling you that this is not the right model. This was taught to us way back, and it simply doesn't work anymore. So that's what this course is about. That's what I've been teaching you. And as we go through the course, I'm going to introduce some books, some other key learnings that you can take away from the course. And if you feel compelled to really learn and evolve yourself both financially and from a wealth standpoint, consider taking the other courses. They have a much deeper detail in terms of how to get going. What are some strategies to use? Okay, great, Tom, I get it. This isn't going to work. I can't make the money I need to make. I get it. Now what? What can I do? What should I be doing? And that's where we'll help you out in those courses, the intermediate and advanced courses. They'll teach you how to begin to do all this. And if you do it right, it's surprising how fast the wealth and the income actually grows. It really is mindset and the initiative to do it. That's the big first step. So that said, I'm going to stop talking about this. I hope you now see that this does not work. This is the wealth reality check. When people see this, they often are like, oh my God, what am I going to do? This clearly is not going to work out. And so usually this is the aha moment that people, this is when they get it, right? So with that said, I'm hoping you get the value out of this, and hopefully you also now understand why this doesn't work. Thanks.